Hello there and welcome to a brand new episode of Hala Kuwait. My name is Tariq Al-Aryan and we're coming to you from the Ministry of Information studios right here in downtown Kuwait. And I hope everyone out there is having a great evening and a nice day wherever you may be tuning in watching tonight's episode of Hala Kuwait. Today is a very special day in the history of our beloved country of Kuwait. Today is August 2nd, 2019. And tonight on the program, we have a very special episode. We're going to go back in history a little bit and go to August 2nd, 2090. We have some distinguished guests who will be joining us right here in the studio. We're going to be talking a little bit about that period, what took place, and how Kuwait is progressing over the decades from that time. We have that plus a lot more on tonight's episode of Hala Kuwait. But first off, let's take a look at this report dealing with those times of August 2nd, 2090. Stay tuned.
After August 2nd and the diversity that Kuwait has been through, it was time for Kuwait to reclaim its broken parts and try to rise through the pain and through all the scars. It was time to recover from a crisis that was a bump in its trail of achievements, a motive for Kuwait to prove how strong and fast it could rise and flick off all the damage that has been caused. Starting over to have the best for the next Kuwaiti generation after this day and on. At first, it was putting out all the burning oil wells by just Kuwaiti citizens helping each other and forgetting about the darkness and the pollution that might be threatening to their health. Just to reach their aim, that is putting out all the burning wells. Kuwait had a plan to get back again to its old self and better. It has renovated and reconstructed its buildings that has been affected and removing any trace from the catastrophe that happened in the country. By getting everything in place again, running the schools and the hospitals, getting the citizens back on track and living again in the country. The best part of all is how Kuwaitis were sticking together in that diversity and kept on sticking together to help this country to stand again and be proud of their achievements. They were acting like a great big family that nothing would break it. Their relationship grew bigger and bigger throughout this painful event. And at the end, we shall always remember Kuwait's martyrs who gave their lives defending their families and country. May God keep peace and prosperity among Kuwait, its citizens, and all that lives on this glorious country.
Well, we're back right here on Hala Kuwait, and we have with us our first guest right here in the studio. We have with us His Excellency Mr. Lawrence Silverman, the Ambassador of the United States to the State of Kuwait. Your Excellency, welcome to our program, Hala Kuwait, and we appreciate your time with us this evening right here on the program.
Thank you very, very much for inviting me, Tariq, and welcome to all of your viewers.
Your Excellency, the United States and the State of Kuwait have a long, friendly relationship, which goes back for a long period. And during this period of August 2nd, 1990, this relationship was even strengthened and enhanced. Can you elaborate a little bit to our audience about the two nations throughout and after the period of August 2nd, please?
Sure. Well, Tariq, I think the one lesson of this anniversary is you know who your friends are. And Americans were here in Kuwait in a way since maybe 1911, really, when they came here and founded the Americani Hospital, which is now the site of Dar al-Athar al-Islamiyya. And we've been friends, so that's 50 years before Kuwaiti independence in 1961.
So if you're going back in that time, over 100 years.
Over 100 years. And we developed this relationship for a long time, many years. I've talked to many people who were here in the 60s, Americans who were here in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and helped in some ways to build the country, roads and other things. So it's a very long and a very friendly and mutually beneficial relationship. And then we saw just how valuable such a relationship can be on August 2nd, 1990, unfortunately.
Yeah, during that period, Your Excellency, the United States came to the assistance of Kuwait, as you said, a very good friend. And tell us about that period and how that relationship was even enhanced.
And it certainly was enhanced as a result of what we went through during the invasion, occupation, and liberation of Kuwait. I think, you have a very young population. Half of the population was not born at the time of the invasion and liberation. So for them, it may be things that they read about, but really, it was very clear from the very beginning that the United States would come to the aid and assistance, and not alone, as you know. We helped to build a coalition. We're very proud of that. But, the invasion was August 2nd. On August 5th, President Bush said, this aggression will not stand. So he was very clear in his mind from the very outset of this. But you have to understand that this requires obviously it required a military operation, and you had to build that coalition.
Yeah, the logistics of this was...
So people think, Desert Shield started months later in 1990, and Desert Storm, was only after the ultimatum, and it was basically in January and February. But the logistics, as you say, for that, putting the troops in place, that started in August of 1990. And your viewers may not know that some 540,000 Americans participated in one way or another in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and the liberation of Kuwait. And of course, we lost 148 Americans in that. But there was a whole build-up to this. We and then your foreign minister, now His Highness Sheikh Sabah the Emir, we worked together to bring this to the Security Council. All of these things, you need the basis for a coalition to move ahead, the legal basis. And I just thought I brought with me,
sir.
I thought I would show you, this is the, for those of you who haven't seen it before, this is the resolution
right there, this camera, sir.
Resolution 678 that declared that and authorized the international community and the member states to use all necessary means to bring about, in effect, the liberation of Kuwait. And as you know, Sheikh Jabir then appeared before the UN General Assembly in September.
Our late Emir, may he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. And this resolution, there were other resolutions saying this is wrong. This resolution passed in November of 1990. So there's a whole buildup to authorizing and forming the basis for what was a very effective coalition, which involved some 35 countries. And a very strong basis, because even President Bush faced some people in the United States saying, why are we doing this? Why are we putting our sons and daughters in harm's way? And he said, because there is a principle, especially now, the civilized world does not allow such things.
And Your Excellency, Kuwait and its government will be forever grateful for the fine contributions of the people of the United States during that period. And Your Excellency, after that period of August 2nd, 1990. The relationship even got to a better standing, of course, became much closer economically.
That's
a
right.
lot of people also studying in the United States. Elaborate a little bit about this relationship and how it's progressed
Sure.
over the decades since then.
I do want to just take one
Please.
opportunity to pay tribute to the Kuwaitis who resisted
Yes.
the occupation, and the Kuwaitis in the United States who actually volunteered to work with the U.S. military, with the U.S. Army, to help liberate Kuwait. They deserve our tribute
They do
and
too,
our
yes, sir.
appreciation as well. So indeed, you're right, Tariq. We have built from, I think we've gone from strength to strength in the relationship, economically, certainly in trade, great investments, both from the United States here and from Kuwait in the United States, from which are very profitable for Kuwait. The hundreds of billions of dollars that are Kuwaiti investments in the United States, which have helped develop the Kuwaiti economy. And politically, we have become quite close and very strong allies. Most recently, over the last almost 2 years, year and a half, we've been working together because Kuwait has been a member of the UN Security Council. So we've worked very closely there. Earlier this year, in March, Secretary of State Pompeo visited for the third of our strategic dialogues, which cover everything. It's political cooperation, it's cooperation in the region on issues like the dispute within the Gulf Cooperation Council, which we all want to see ended and solved as quickly as possible. And then economically, as you say, business and investment, also reform of business practices to improve the business environment. We're working very closely. We're very pleased that just a few weeks ago, there was new legislation passed to protect intellectual property here in Kuwait, which eventually with the regulations will help, I think, protect not only people marketing their goods here, but Kuwaiti authors and Kuwaiti software developers.
I know you've
Kuwaiti
been on our
musicians.
program and touched on
we
that
did
before, yes, sir.
And then there is the education piece, of course, which I think is one of the strongest pillars of that. There are over 12,000 Kuwaiti students there in the United States right at the moment. We've had 5 generations studying, but we're going beyond that. That's a great thing. We're going beyond that. We're saying to ourselves in this relationship, what can we do to help prepare the students even better? So we are actually training Kuwait public school English teachers, for example, so that the teaching of English is better and the students are better prepared. And then on the far end, we are involved in programs that will take graduates and help get them internships, or maybe they work for a year after they graduate work in the United States with various companies. So this is getting at trying to build up the entrepreneurial side of Kuwait, because Kuwait's economy, like others, needs to diversify, not just from petroleum.
Yes,
it's a great resource. Your investments are a great resource, but we're trying to promote innovation and entrepreneurship here in Kuwait. And then in the healthcare field, many Kuwaitis get very high quality medical treatment in the United States. But for us, that's not good enough. What we want to say is, well, let us get more involved in training doctors. Let's get more involved in medical research so that there'll be more healthcare and higher quality healthcare opportunities. Even
over
here
the
in Kuwait.
years, we've seen a lot of joint collaboration when it
Absolutely.
comes to medical conferences
Absolutely.
and workshops. And as you said earlier, it's a mutual collaboration that's beneficial for all.
Absolutely. I'm not shy about saying that the United States has benefited from this, but I think Kuwait and Kuwaitis and all the population here have really benefited from this as well. And we only look at what we have, and then we say we need to enhance it. And that's what the strategic dialogue, we make it more secure for your customs operations, for example, to make sure no illicit or dangerous material come into the country. We have worked very hard on airport security here to make sure that everyone here in Kuwait has the maximum security. And of course, we remain committed through our presence here and otherwise to the security of Kuwait, which was most recently reiterated by both the President last September when he met with His Highness the Emir, and also by Secretary Pompeo when he visited here in March.
Yeah, Your Excellency, His Highness the Emir, the humanitarian leader, has always worked very hard to further this already strong relationship with the United States, which you touched on earlier in our interview, especially when he was a foreign minister at the time of August 2nd, 1990.
Right. We have great respect for a 40-year career as a diplomat. But not just that, his dedication to diplomatic solutions, to finding diplomatic solutions, which is why We were very supportive of his efforts in the early days of the Gulf Cooperation Council dispute to try to end that, and as I said, we still want to try to end that. But Kuwait has been a great actor for diplomatic solutions and of course a great humanitarian actor. And before I came here as ambassador, I attended all 3 of the donors conferences here in Kuwait to help the Syrian refugees, which has been a great endeavor and a large commitment on the part of the Kuwaiti government, which also earned His Highness the great praise of the UN Secretary General, of course.
And well deserved. And Your Excellency, Kuwait and the United States have this very long storied friendship, and Kuwaitis love to travel, and the United States is a very popular destination that people love to visit there. Elaborate a little bit more about this strong bond, because a lot of people in Kuwait also love the American cuisine, American lifestyle, and so forth. So that also enhances this strong bond already.
Totally. I mean, this is very much a people-to-people relationship, not just a government-to-government relationship, military-to-military, business-to-business. No, it's very much a people-to-people relationship. And I think I've said to you before, Tariq, I have many Kuwaiti friends who have been to more places in the United States than I have. And they have really experienced, when they have gone to school in Kuwait, they don't sit there at their university. And I encourage them. I just recently met with the next set of Kuwaiti students who are going to study at university, and I said, please do well, study hard, but then get out and explore America, which you're free to do. We're happy to have you go wherever you'd like. Get involved with people. There are Kuwaitis who still are in touch with what they call their host families when they went to school back in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. It's a great relationship. They love it. When we had 15 graduates of Kuwaiti universities here to speak, who met with Secretary Pompeo just here in March, and they all told him, everybody said the same thing, it was really among the most valuable experiences of their life, their time there. And not just in the classroom, but outside the classroom, how it helped them mature.
Yeah, build their character.
Build their character, find out what they really want to do.
Successful young adults.
Exactly. So, you know, we really do mean it when we say study in the United States, succeed in Kuwait, because we think we have the proof of it. People have come back and they're very, very successful here in developing their own country, and that's the greatest tribute that we could have and the greatest reason for continuing this open door to have Kuwaiti students come and study in the United States.
Your Excellency, it's always a pleasure to have you on any of our programs right here on Kuwait Television, more specifically KTV2.
Thank you.
And at the end of our interview this evening on this special day in the history of the state of Kuwait, today is, of course, August 2nd, 2019. Any last words that you'd like to close with this evening for the audience watching Hala Kuwait?
Thank you. Well, I think we were friends then, we're friends now. We will stand by you. Kuwait has stood by the United States. This was, for those who didn't really live through it, and an American cannot feel what a Kuwaiti felt living through this, and the hardship that involved, and the sacrifice and the loss of life. But we righted a wrong, all of us together. We righted a wrong. We did it as a matter of principle, and we did it in the context of with a strong legal basis and with a broad coalition. And that's really the ideal situation that you have when you have international aggression, to deal with it with the maximum group of the international community standing for something and achieving it. And we're very proud to have been a part of that. And the best, again, the best reward for all of that is to see Kuwait today. Really. The one thing I do want to mention is that there will be, in the coming years, it still has to be built, but the first memorial to Desert Storm for the liberation of Kuwait, in a prime location between the Lincoln Memorial and the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. And we hope that in coming years they are now raising funds for building this. It will be built in the coming years, and all Kuwaitis and Americans will be able to come and visit that and to learn more about what it was like, about this major, really worldwide effort to liberate Kuwait.
Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We appreciate your valuable time.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
we were speaking to His Excellency, Mr. Lawrence Silverman, the Ambassador of the United States to the state of Kuwait. We appreciate his valuable time with us this evening. Let's now move on to another one of our reports. Stay tuned.
حقيقة بداية في 2/8 كنت متواجد في معسكر المباركية لمدة 3 أيام، وبعد ذلك في منطقة كيفان قرابة الأسبوعين، وكنت متواجد في فترة الاحتلال مع أسرتي بالكويت. متواجد بالكويت. بعد التحرير مباشرة قمنا بتطهير مدينة الكويت، ومن ثم أنيط للجيش البريطاني إزالة الألقام عن الساحل الكويتي والجزر والمناطق الجنوبية، وتم التحاقي بهم كممثل لوزارة الدفاع مع الجيش البريطاني لقرابة 2 سنين. حقيقة في هذه الفترة أزلنا مئات الأطنان من الذخيرة والألغام. بعد ذلك بزيارة رئيسة وزراء بريطانيا طلبتني بالاسم حقيقة واشكرتني على الجهود اللي قمت فيها ومساعدتهم والعمل مع الجيش البريطاني. حقيقة سطر الشعب الكويتي أروع أنواع الوفاء من خلال النسيج الوطني، وبين لحمة وطنية من خلال الأعمال اللي قام فيها. ودليل على ذلك الأسرى والشهداء كلهم من فئات الشعب. فالكويتيين حقيقة لحمة واحدة في الأزمات والحمد لله. حقيقة لواء الهندسة قرابة 5 سنوات من بعد التحرير كان المسؤول عن تلقي البلاغات والإشراف على إزالة الألقام من قبل دول الحلفاء، وبناء السور الرابع والخامس على الحدود الكويتية. فمجهود جبار قام فيه لواء الهندسة بمساعدة الجيش الكويتي. حقيقة أنك تلاقي مارغريت تاتشر، هذه المرأة الحديدية اللي ساعدت الكويت بالتحرير، تشكرك على الجهد اللي قمت فيه ومساعدة الجيش البريطاني. شيء عظيم بالنسبة لي أنا حقيقة، والتقطت صور معاها وما أنسى ذاك اليوم اللي من الدكتورة رشا الصباح هي كانت معاها متواجدة وكرمتني وأعطتني وسام بذلك.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here today. And it's my absolute pleasure to talk about the role of the British Army in Kuwait during the Iraqi invasion. We have always had a very special relationship with the UK. It just runs very deep. From the Protectorate Treaty from 1899 up to 1961, 1979, until the Iraqi invaded Kuwait in 2nd of August 1990. It was indeed an awful day. I would like to speak about Margaret Thatcher's role. Margaret Thatcher was the Prime Minister of the UK. She was just marvellous. She played the most important role. And this role was continued by her successor, Sir John Major. Margaret Thatcher was the first one who took the invasion very seriously and spoke about it in the United Nations. She was the first person publicly who stood up and said that Saddam Hussein was in the wrong and should leave Kuwait immediately. Of course, I mean, on a visit to the US, it was believed that she had strongly influenced Bush in collaboration. And then she called for a press conference at that time, and they managed together to lobby the UN and talk together, and they have successfully gathered more than 34 alliance, and which is the largest since the Second World War, passing the resolution of 661. Once the UN, of course, agreed, Britain was instrumental in providing military forces to strike against the invaders. It was the Royal Air Force, Royal Navy and British Army supplied during the operation, including 35,000 of servicemen and women and 13,000 vehicles. It was just substantial. I would like to take a moment also here to remember and honor the life that were lost during this time. More than 290 Allied soldiers lost their lives. 47 of them were British. And we are really in Kuwait thankful to the British government for their aid, sacrifice during this time, and honor those and the families of those who lost their life during this conflict to free my country, Kuwait. In addition, of course, there were 1,000 Kuwaiti lives were lost, in addition of 600 missing people. Until this moment, we don't know what happened to them. That number, of course, could have been significantly greater without the support and expertise of the British soldiers. And fortunately, the hard work and the collaboration of the Kuwaiti army, represented by my father, the Major General Yusuf Al-Majid, who was called to be a liaison officer between the British Army and the Kuwaiti Army. They cleared over 2 million mines, and it was called that more than 98 of Kuwait land was covered by mines at that time. So also British Armed Force currently assessing with DNA identification of remains that been found in the last 2 weeks. Can you believe? Britain and Kuwait will still now continue to build this close relationship to strengthen the security economy for both nations, and I hope this continues for many years to come. Britain has always been a good friend to us, an excellent ally, and will always be. I would like to add that I'm very proud of my father and the role he played as a Major General and British liaison officer during the conflict with Iraq. He has served our country bravely, and his efforts to clear the mines saved many lives. He is a war hero. Well, absolutely, it has a really positive and negative impact. Positive in a way that it motivated me. I was very young in the wartime, and this gave me a great strength to go and study in England in particular, and to get my higher education and PhD, a number of masters in law, so I can enforce laws and understand them and come back to my country, protect my country where I can.
Well, we're back right here on Hala Kuwait, and moving on to our next segment, we have an interview with Ms. Ashwaq Al-Arada, and she is the manager at the Martyrs Bureau. Let's take a look at this interview and see what she has to say. Stay tuned.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أشواق صالح العرادة، مدير إدارة التوجيه والرعاية الأسرية. مكتب الشهيد يعنى بتكريم الشهيد ورعاية أسرته. في عندنا مجموعة من الرعايات اللي قدمها مكتب الشهيد لأسر الشهداء من بداية اعتماد الشهيد. في البداية في عندنا رعاية إسكانية بمرسوم الأميري الصادر في 2011 أكد على تخصيص منازل خاصة لأسر الشهداء. فإذا كانت أسرة الشهيد ليس لديها تخصيص أو ليس لديها منزل، يتم مخاطبة وزارة الإسكان مبدئياً عشان يصير لهم أولوية في الحصول على السكن. إذا كان عندهم مساكن يتم إسقاط الديون، وهذه برعاية من حضرة صاحب السمو. في النهاية يتم تسليم الأسر الوثائق، وخاصة لأرامل الشهداء وثيقة بالسكن. الرعاية الائتمانية، مكتب الشهيد يخاطب التأمينات الاجتماعية لحصول أسرة الشهيد على الراتب الاستثنائي لشهداء الكويت. في عندنا الرعاية الصحية، مكتب الشهيد يقدم مجموعة من الرعايات الصحية لأسر الشهداء في رعاية ذوينا أمانة، وهو برنامج خاص بكبار السن اللي فوق 65 وحالتهم الصحية تستدعي إلى رعاية وملاحظة دورية، يكون من خلال شركة خاصة تنزل إلى الأسر المحتاجة أسبوعياً، يكشفون على حالة صحية للمريض، وموافاتنا بتقارير شبه دورية بخصوص هذه الأسر. في عندنا مجموعة من الأجهزة اللي تقدم لذوي الشهيد، الوالد والوالدة والأرملة اللي بحاجة إلى أجهزة طبية مع تقدم السن، مع الحالة الصحية اللي هم يحتاجونها. مكتب الشهيد يوفر لهم هذه الاحتياجات الصحية. بالإضافة في عندنا دكاترة متخصصين لكل تخصص طبي. من خلال هذه الدكاترة نروح زيارات الاستشارية، أي مريض بحاجة إنه هو لأي تخصص انطرشه حق يكون له أولوية لهذا الدكتور لرعاية أسر الشهداء صحياً. ابن الشهيد يهتم في كأنه ولي الأمر موجود، فيتم متابعته تربوياً ودراسياً خلال المراحل الدراسية. ومكتب الشهيد سنوياً قيم لهم حفل خاص تكريم لهم وحضرة صاحب السمو، وهو دائما يحرص على لقائهم سنويا. من خلال اللقاء يكون مع الأبناء أبوي حنون، يتكلم وياهم بأريحية ويشجعهم. وصراحة أبناء الشهداء وايد سمعتها منهم يقولون إحنا نحرص على التفوق بس عشان نصافح حضرة صاحب السمو سنويا. في عندنا أيضاً برامج حق الطلبة المتعثرين دراسياً، نساعدهم على أنهم يكونون من الطلبة المتفوقين. وفي عندنا بعد ما يتخرج الطالب يكون في مراسلات إلى ديوان الخدمة المدنية، ويكون لهم أولوية في التوظيف لأبناء الشهداء. أبناء الشهداء يعتبرون أساس من هذا المجتمع الكويتي، فيحرص مكتب الشهيد دائما على تنويرهم وتوجيههم. في مراقبة خاصة بالتوجيه الأسري والإرشاد تعنى بأبناء الشهداء. ففي عندنا موضوع اللي هو اللايف كوتشنج، في عندنا يقومون ب استشاريين خاصين مع أبناء الشهداء في حل مشاكلهم اللي يواجهونها في هذه الحياة. في عندنا برامج تدريبية وتثقيفية يقدمها مكتب الشهيد على طوال العام. في عندنا مجموعة من البرامج، والسنة إن شاء الله راح تكون ثالث برنامج أكاديمية المبدعين. أكاديمية المبدعين هي أكاديمية تخصصية تقام لأبناء الشهداء من سن 20 وحتى سن 45 سنة. خلال هذه البرامج يتم غرس قيم مجتمعية ووطنية لدى الأبناء، وتوجيههم بحيث أنهم يكونون شعاع لباقي أفراد المجتمع الكويتي من خلال مجموعة من البرامج والإبداعات اللي هم يقدمونها أبناء الشهداء. في عندنا برامج أخرى، برنامج سميناه منكم وإليكم. وجدنا أن في مجموعة من أبناء الشهداء وهم حاصلين على شهادات عالية وعندهم مهارات ومواهب ممكن أنهم يفيدون أبنائهم. من خلال برنامج إعداد مدرب قدمنا لهم، فحبينا إن هم يقدمون برامج لأخوانهم من أبناء الشهداء. فهذا إن شاء الله السنة الثانية راح يكون برنامج تخصصي يقدم أبناء الشهداء في مجالات التخصصية، في مجالات التنمية البشرية، يقدمونها لأخوانهم من أبناء الشهداء على مدار العام. في عندنا مجموعة من الإبداعات، ولله الحمد العام بعد ما انتهى برنامج أكاديمية المبدعين صار في عندنا 4 فرق تطوعية، وأبناء الشهداء دائما نحرص على مشاركتهم معنا في جميع أنشطتنا. في مكتب الشهيد يقيم برامج خلال الأعياد الوطنية وقائمة على أبناء الشهداء، هم اللي يبدعون ويانا في هذه المجالات ويحرصون، لأنهم هم استمرار لعطاء والدينهم في هذا المجال. من بعد التحرير الكويت وبدء العمل في مكتب الشهيد، حرص مكتب الشهيد على التواجد أبناء الشهداء من خلال الأنشطة والبرامج الكثيرة اللي يقيمها خلال مدار العام. في عندنا برامج ثابتة وفي عندنا برامج تستحدث. البرامج الثابتة اللي هي البرامج الاجتماعية اللي يقيمها مكتب الشهيد، وهي في عندنا برنامج اللي هو شاي الضحى لأرامل الشهداء. في عندنا كان في بالسابق لما كان الفئة الكبيرة من أبناء الشهداء هم كانوا أطفال، فكان عندنا مخيم ربيعي ومخيم صيفي، وبرامجنا تختلف مع الزمن ومع التغيرات اللي تحصل حق أبناء الشهداء. في عندنا لقاءات دورية مثل الديوانية، مثل يقيمها مكتب الشهيد لأبناء وذوي الشهداء، هذا عشان التلاحم فيما بينهم، إنه يكون أبناء الشهداء يكونون امتداد لآبائهم. وفي عندنا البرامج اللي هي الوطنية اللي يقيمها مكتب الشهيد. مكتب الشهيد يحرص دائما على مشاركة الأبناء معه في هذه البرامج، ومن خلال هذه البرامج يعني في شغلات كثيرة. لو تسألون أبناء الشهداء راح تلاقونهم إنهم يعرفوننا واحد واحد ووحدة وحدة، مرات يجونا فقط عشان يسلمون، يقولون إحنا ولهنا عليكم. ابن الشهيد لما يتخرج يسلم ويقول ترى أبشركم أنا تخرجت. صار في تلاحم فيما بيننا وبينهم، فأصبحنا أسرة واحدة. من خلال أكاديميات مكتب الشهيد والبرامج التدريبية اللي أقامها مكتب الشهيد، في عندنا نجوم تلألأت على سماء مكتب الشهيد من أبناء الشهداء، وهم قادة ولله الحمد في مجالات عملهم. حضرة صاحب السمو نصب خلال فترة أنه هو قائد العمل الإنساني، وللأمانة أكبر دليل لعمله الإنساني عمله مع أبناء الشهداء، فهو والد لأبناء الشهداء جميعا وابن لآباء الشهداء، يحظون برعايته السنوية. نشكر حضرة صاحب السمو على رعايته لهؤلاء الأبناء، وأشكر وزارة الإعلام على هذه التغطية، ويعطيكم ألف عافية.
Well, we're back right here on Hala Kuwait, and right now I hope you enjoyed that interview and the valuable insight about the Martyrs Bureau and what's taking place. Right now we'd like to move on to another one of our reports this evening right here on the program. Stay tuned.
Welcome everybody. Uhud Al-Ayadi, Lab Manager in Kuwait Central Blood Bank. Today here we are in Salwa's Center for Bone Marrow and Cord Blood. It's a new bank, a new center where we have a big campaign for the 2nd of August. In this campaign, we are recruiting our donors, especially the rare blood groups donors, to donate blood and save the life of our patient. This is a new center of a blood bank. Mainly, it is the aim of this center is to collect and prepare and archive, store stem cell, bone marrow, cord blood. From this point, I'm calling our donors, healthy donors, to save our patient in different patients of cancers, thalassemia, immunohematology patient, to save their lives in transfusing blood, RBCs, or platelets, or plasma as well. In this campaign, at the same time, we have another campaign in Jabriya Blood Bank, in Berag Mall, in Ahmadi City, in cooperation with Kuwait Oil Company. Thank you everybody for this activity and for this campaign. I'm thanking our patient, Kuwaitis and non-Kuwaitis in Kuwait, for saving all over Kuwait hospitals, private and government hospitals, patient. Thank you very much.
Dr. Rima Radwan, Director of Blood Transfusion Administration Services in Ministry of Health and Director of the Blood Bank. Today we have a national campaign in the title معا للأبد سورا للوطن, which means that we are all together for our country, beloved country, Kuwait. This national blood donation campaign, it is in the memory of the invasion of Kuwait, where at that occasion, at that disaster, all people in Kuwait have been come together for all services and everything to serve this country. One of these things are the blood donation, and on that day many people have came to the blood bank and donated a lot of blood. We reached in one day about 2,000 donations. In that memory, we want to encourage people to memorize how important the blood donation for our injuries, for our patients at the hospitals. So to encourage people and remind them of the importance of blood donation.
Well, we're back right here on Hala Kuwait, and with that we come to the conclusion of tonight's program. This is, of course, August 2nd, 2019, a very special day in the history of our beloved country of Kuwait, and we always wish the best and prosperity for our beloved country of Kuwait in progressing forward, and for our leadership, His Highness the Emir, His Highness the Crown Prince, His Highness the Prime Minister, and all of the government in moving forward with the development of our beloved country of Kuwait. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's episode of Hala Kuwait. Make sure to enjoy the rest of your viewing tonight. And before I leave you, remember to take care of yourselves and each other. And let's always remember to respect one another. Have a nice evening and good night for now.